Beyond Java by Gregory Guy. Right, just a little bit about myself. I spent 10 years as an electronic engineer with the television industry. 5 years as a lecturer of electronic engineering at the Technikon. 4 years working in a bank dealing with development team employees. That was Java development teams. And the last 19 years I've been teaching Java to novice programmers. And I have to say that this has been the best 19 years of my working life. Right, this is Beyond Java. The course overview. Let's look at what we will learn in this course. We have 7 sections. Now the first section was we're going to learn about Maven. And Maven is a tool in which we can keep track of all our archive files, and it will make sure that our archive files are set up, and it will also help us build our project properly. Then in section 2, what we're going to do is we're going to look at something very similar to Maven, but this is in the field of web applications. So it is called Spring Boot, and it will handle everything to do with application servers and deploying to the application server without us having to worry. Then in section 3, what we're going to learn about here is unit testing. Now, unit testing is very, very valuable because you can unit test all your methods, make sure everything's working right, and if anybody came at some later stage and decided to change the code in a method, they could then rerun the bank of tests and find out if their output is still as desired. And if not, it'll indicate to them that there's a problem. Then I will be showing you how to use the MySQL database. And that is, if you haven't done this before, that's very interesting. And you'll learn pretty quick from that section what the power is of databases. Then we're going to go off to section 5. What we're going to do here is we're going to learn how you connect Java to a database. This is called Java Database Connectivity, or JDBC for short. And what's going to happen here is we've got to learn how to actually connect various drivers and also actually connect to the database using passwords and usernames, etc., etc. Then what we're going to do in section 6 is this is what we're really going to do. It's going to be so nice. We're going to write an application, a Java program, which is going to access the database via your connection class. And we're going to use a single table. And what we're going to do is we're going to update, we're going to edit, we're going to delete, and we're going to insert new stuff into this table. But we're going to do it the old-fashioned way. So we're going to do it what I call the hard way. Then when we get to section 7, this is really the magic. What we're going to do here is we're going to be using a framework, which is nothing more than really a set of classes that have been built and developed by a really, really clever guy who put this framework together, and they called it Hibernate. And we're going to use this framework via annotations to actually help us handle the ins and outs of the table. So instead of us having to write all the specific code for reading and updating and so on into the tables, these classes in the Hibernate framework will do all the hard work for us. So that is what we are going to be learning. And as a whole, it is quite extensive and it's very, very interesting. Now let's just have a look at a couple of the prerequisites that we require. You need literacy in JDK 13 at least. So you must have had some background in Java. Okay, we won't be doing basic syntax in this particular course. You have to have some familiarity with operating systems at the command line. You must be on Windows 7, 8, or 10. 10 would be preferable because the course is presented on Windows 10. You can also be using Linux. Okay, your processor should be an Intel i3 or better, preferably better, or an AMD Zen series, no problem. Memory, 8 gigabytes. Bigger than 8 gigabytes is so much the better. And your storage space is plus 500 megabytes is fine. Now, what are the goals of this course? Well, let's have a look at the first one. What we want to do is we want to bring an understanding to you of libraries of code that are very helpful to developers that are not part of the standard libraries. These are libraries of code that are written by independent people. We want to show you the power of these independent libraries of code. So we're going to show you how to use the Maven library, the unit test library, the Hibernate library. So we're going to show you how to do that and how easy it is to actually do this. And you're going to find that using these makes life easier. And again, it goes about understanding that you don't reinvent the wheel. If somebody's written code for you that you can reuse, you reuse it. The other goals that we have is you want to understand what unit testing is. And unit testing is also something of the future. It is something you take seriously, and it's very, very helpful indeed. Then what we're going to do, of course, is we're going to understand Maven and how it helps us developers. We're also going to master a little bit of the structured query language, not all of it by a long shot, but we're going to have a good idea of what it's all about by the time we're finished. You're going to learn how to build databases, and you're going to learn a little bit about building tables in a relational database environment. And then last but not least, you're going to be learning the advantages of using the Hibernate framework. And here we're going to be able to distinguish the difference between the old way of doing it and the Hibernate way of doing it. And we're going to have a look at the advantages and disadvantages of both. All right, let's get started.